I would now like to introduce our speaker, Mr. Karamjeet Singh Biola. Mr. Biola is a design thinker at mindset and an entrepreneur at heart, having a master's degree in mechanical engineering with specialization in product design from Stevens Institute of Technology, New Jersey, USA. Mr. Biola is working as an evangelist to develop, implement, and spread the awareness about the concept of design thinking, innovation, and entrepreneurship in higher education and corporate. Having 7.5 years of experience in academic focusing on curriculum and ecosystem development, he has mentored over 2,000 aspiring entrepreneurs and innovators, trained 4,500 plus faculty members, and conducted 250 plus training programs and workshops in areas of design thinking, innovation, and entrepreneurship. Mr. Biola is also nominated as a Mentor of Change for Atal Tinkering Lab, an initiative of Atal Innovation Mission, a flagship initiative by NITI Aayog to promote innovation and entrepreneurship across the country. He was also instrumental in setting up Design Innovation Center at GTU, granted by MHRD, to build an innovative and design-led ecosystem for students, faculty members, researchers, startups, and industry in Gujarat region. We welcome you, sir. Let us begin with the session.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Astha. And thank you very much, Dr. Kaur, for inviting me.
It's always a privilege, Dr. Biola. It's our pleasure to have you here as a speaker. And on behalf of the entire organizing committee, I extend a very warm welcome to you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, ma'am, for your kind words. And I really appreciate your efforts and the Institute's effort to develop this innovation and entrepreneurship ecosystem for your students, faculty member, and other stakeholders associated with the college as well as the University of Delhi. And that is where your efforts and your enthusiasm seems to be a great, where we can have and we can see that in the near future there will be a good ecosystem being developed in your institute as well as in your region. With that, let me start my slide sharing, if it is. Okay.
Actually, we get inspired by persons like you who are doing so much towards developing this innovation ecosystem.
I'm doing bit of it, ma'am. Trying my best.
That's really great. Very inspiring.
Yeah, trying my best. So today's session will be on prototyping, mainly the process design, product design, and development part, and how we can utilize prototyping technique. Prototyping is not a word; it's a technique, right? So if we use prototype as a technique, right, we can really achieve and we can really develop a very good innovative solutions for our academic project as well as our startup ideas, right? So with that, I'll again appreciate and thank Deen Dayal Upadhyay College, University of Delhi, for inviting me here, and Institutions Innovation Council for giving us this opportunity through this MHRD cell, so that we can interact with each other. And in this pandemic situation, it is this is like something where we can easily connect from any part of the world, and students, faculty member, experts, ecosystem enablers are coming together to build this ecosystem where everyone can contribute, collaborate, and fetch the mutual benefits, right? So that is where I think due to this pandemic, it gives us the opportunity to virtually meet and virtually learn from each other. And that's where I appreciate and I also would say that we all need to benefit and we all should get the most out of this time, which is really I would say for many of us it would have became beneficial, as well as for many of them have lost their dear and near ones, but with the grace of God, we all are doing great right now, and that is what we can expect from out of this situation and pandemic. So with that, I would like to take you through the journey of prototyping, which is one of the part of entire innovation process, or which is one of the part of entire entrepreneurial journey, right? But it is very much important, as well as it is very much it can be a pivotal for your idea. It can be a one of the deciding factor whether your startup or whether your academic project would be successful or a failure, right? And that is where, if we can understand this prototyping technique as an iterative technique for the solution development. Why solution? Because it could be a product, process, service, or the combination of all of these, right? So when we talk about innovation, when we talk about startup, we always talk about the product, right? But the product can be a physical product, tangible product, or the process, systems, services, and many a times nowadays we can see the platforms, online platforms through which they are providing us these products and services. So this prototyping is basically a iterative process. It is a experimental and iterative process in which we always need to get the feedback from the people or the user for which for whom we are developing our solution, right? It is not only that I have the idea and I should convert that idea into a final product or a solution, right? Based on my assumptions or whatever idea or whatever technology I know, right? But it is also to get the feedback, to get the view, and many a times positive and negative feedback from the user, from the customer, or from the stakeholder with whom we are working, right? And that is where, as mentioned by Dr. Kaur, that I am working for implementing the design thinking mindset among the students, faculty member, and our young generation, which is where I see that if we can use this structured approach of design thinking, we can always get the better solutions, and we can always get the human-centered solution. So I'll the entire interaction today interaction will be, first I'll describe what is prototyping, how we can create the prototype, and what are the tools for prototyping, mainly keeping academic projects or early stage startups into the into the perspective. I'll show you a couple of tools and the photographs, how our students and startups are doing, and then we will also discuss little bit on why this design thinking is important as a structured process, so that you will get the glimpse of entire process, how it works, right? But before that, let's start with the prototyping. First, let's understand what is prototyping. So little bit about my firm, which is Innodesk, so that if you want to connect with me, or if you want to ask any particular question, we can interact contextually, right, during this session. Ma'am, how long it will be? 4 to 5, or what is the time?
Yeah, you can take 4 to 5. It's okay. 4:15 till 5:10, and then we can have a question session.
Sure.
Interactive session.
Okay. So at Innodesk, we are working in the areas of mainly in design thinking, creativity and innovation, startup, which is entrepreneurship, and emerging tech. And whatever we are doing is based on this design thinking and design driven innovation strategy. So we called ourselves as a design driven innovation strategy firm. Mainly we are fostering entrepreneurship, the intrapreneurship, which is more important for the job seekers nowadays, who are or who wish to work under any company or businesses, because businesses today not only seeking that you come to their place and you just work for them for 9 to 5 job and take your salary at the end of the month, but they also want that you contribute towards the value proposition, to creating the value for their whatever processes or whatever solution they are developing. So intrapreneurship is also very much important, and a new area where you can create your career where you can, you know, work and develop your own skill sets. And of course 21st century skills which are required by any person to be successful. We are inspired by, as I said, design thinking and human-centered design, where, as I mentioned, businesses and startups or the MNCs are not only focusing on functional and aesthetic aspects of the product and services while developing their solution. They are not only focusing on functional or aesthetic aspect, right, but they are also focusing on emotional, social, and symbolic aspect, right? And that is where this human-centered design and design thinking is very much useful. We are also having a pool of highly reputed and educated mentors who are coming from a diverse background and fields and with the vast experience to guide and support our students, startup, and clients. By doing all this, we are trying to nurture and enhance the creativity, problem solving, and innovation, as well as entrepreneurial mindset, attitude, and skills among the young generation, because our main clients are the academic institutes and incubation centers, along with a couple of corporates also, but main chunk are coming from the academia. So by doing that, we are trying to implement the NEP 2020 and achieve the Atmanirbhar Bharat goal. And we do all this through our various flagship program, custom-made courses, and all through the practical hands-on experiential learning program. So in that matter, if you would like to connect with us, you can connect on our social media at InnoDesk Zone. So already, my profile has been described to you, so I'll just keep it. Okay, now, whenever we conduct such program, or whenever we have the one-on-one interaction with the students or the early stage startups, they always say that, sir, I have an idea and I want to start my own startup, or I want to build my own company, right? So before we jump onto developing the solution, we need to validate our idea. We need to, have the we also need to ask, as a person, as an entrepreneur, if I have an idea, and I always believe, as it is proven that whoever comes with the idea, they believe that their idea is the world based and their idea is most innovative, right? ये common है and ये होना भी चाहिए, but we also need to see that practically, right, whether it will be a useful, whether it will be a feasible, whether it will be a viable for our business, or whether it will be a viable into the market, right? And that is where, if we have an idea, we just do not need to directly jump onto developing a final solution, but using a prototyping technique, using our another tools and techniques of design thinking, maybe a lean startup, agile methodology, and there are different methods as well as tools and techniques available to validate your idea. You need to go out and ask 99 other people. You are the one, but you need to also ask 99 other people that I have this idea, whether it will be a good or not, whether if I convert my idea into a product, you will use it or not, right? That is where we need to first see what does it look like as a prototype, as a idea. What does it look like? Because many a times idea are in our thought process, right? In our mind, it is an abstract idea. We need to convert that into a physical form. How can I convert it into a solution, right? When it means when I say solution, it is a final, useful, marketable product, right? So how I can convert that rough idea into the solution? Then, do customer want it? The very most important question. Whenever I launch my product into the market, solution into the market, do my customer want it? Do my customer will love it? Whether they will be using it or whether they will be buying it, right? That is the most important question. And if I am the existing startup or existing business, right? If I am running any company and I am working on a couple of product or service, and if I have a new idea, whether it will be right for my existing business, because I cannot shut down the entire things and I can start a new venture or business. It can be possible, but there are many contextual reasons why you are doing that. But if you are running any existing business, startup, or you are doing something, right, whether this idea will be useful or not, because many a time students and early stage startup are juggling here and there, that 6 months they will work on this idea, then 6 months they will work on another idea, or they are working on simultaneous thing, right? if you want to work on simultaneous thing to check whether which idea will be workable or which idea will be feasible or not, you just need to, you know, do it in a certain time period. Let's say for 1 week or 2 week or 1 month maximum, right? So using design thinking and other this methodologies, agile is the best you know, way to come up with the solution into a week time or so, right? So there are this structured methodology which help you to convert your idea into a workable solution, into a feasible solution. Of course, after that you need to work on many other things, right? Business model, financial strategy, and there are many other things that you need to work on. But at the idea level, at the prototype level, these are the couple of things that you need to consider. These are a couple of, you know, aspects that you need to consider. So if you have an idea, just convert that into a prototype and convert that prototype into a final solution by iterating or pivoting that idea. So before we understand what is prototype, we also need to understand what is innovation, right? Because our prototype, our idea, our solution, the final solution needs to be an innovative, you know, and it needs to generate the value into the minds of people or lives of the people. Then and then they will buy or use it. So what is innovation? If you are coming up with the innovation, then and then this market and, you know, people will accept your idea. Otherwise, it will be a common idea or common solution which everyone is doing, and that is where the basic fundamental difference lies between traditional business and the startup, right? So if you are coming up with the startup idea, it needs to be an innovative idea, right? So what is innovation? Innovation is nothing but the new idea, which is a novel combination of existing idea. So it doesn't mean that if someone is doing, you can't do it, or if someone is doing or someone have this idea or this solution, you can't come up with the innovation, right? It is a mindset. You need to come up with the completely new thing, maybe completely new with the completely new material, method, process, technology, or maybe for the application. Even if you have that things common, for example, in the competitive market, you know, material, processes, application of that product or service will be the same, but what makes the difference is the value proposition, is that one USP, right? So you need to come up with that USP, value proposition, coming up with this new idea of innovation, right? Or through the innovation, you need to come up with that new idea which makes you different or which makes you apart from the competitor, and that is where your customer base or your client base will understand that you are something different, or you are you know, having a different you know, brand value in your, and that how you can generate your brand value and create the brand value in the market. So innovation is nothing but the new idea with the novel combination of existing idea. So you need to combine existing solutions, processes, systems, products, services, anything that you can combine in a novel combination. For example, Uber, right? So when Uber came, before Uber, there were taxi services, right? Normal traditional taxi services were there. There were the travelers who are, you know, using these taxi services. There were the mobile applications and web applications or websites which offer such kind of services, right? Not like Uber, but they are offering the various services. So what Uber did was they have combined all this stuff, right? So taxi, which is from tourism domain, you know, customers, mobile applications or website from IT domain, platform side, right? And also they have integrated the banking solution or payment gateway, right? So they have combined 3-4 different domain thing in a novel combination, right? That people haven't seen before, and that's where their novel combination, this new idea, became the innovation, right? So you need to also think in this different way, right? So thinking differently, doing differently is what you know, we see, or we say it is a creativity or innovation. So coming up with the new idea of novel combination of existing things, right? Existing solution is an innovation. Of course, you can come up with the invention, but that is a different story. For everyone, it is not possible to come up with the invention. So that, you know, using the structured process, we can at least, you know, come up with the innovative ideas. and everyone can come up with the innovative idea. But innovation is not a miracle. Innovation doesn't happen overnight. Innovation needs a structured, thoughtful process, tools and technique, and practicing that tools and technique and process, for the time. Then and then you can come up with new ideas and innovative, solutions. So when we talk about creativity and innovation, for coming up with the innovative ideas, you require creativity in a huge way, in a bigger way, right? So with your creative ability, you come up with the many ideas, you come up with the quantities of idea. After that, after this process of coming up with quantities of idea or generating a lot of ideas, you convert that ideas into an innovation using various conceptualization and decision making tool, right, which is we call the product realization or conceptualization stage. In that stage, you also need to apply many constraint and boundary condition. Without constraint and boundary condition, it is not possible, right, to convert your ideas into a final innovation, because final product and solution works on the constraint, right? Design and innovation depends largely on the constraint. So we need to convert that creative ideas into a final innovation, and that innovation needs to create an impact. Without impact, your solution will not considered as an innovation. Now that impact can be a return on investment, monetary benefit for you, for your stakeholder, social impact, self-satisfaction. Many a time for social enterprises or social entrepreneurship, social impact and self-satisfaction is very much important, and radical change that you are bringing into the market, into industry sector, or into the lives of the people, community and society. But that innovation, that final solution needs to create an impact to be considered as a innovative idea or as a startup, right? So we need to come up from good ideas to convert, to concept. We need to convert our many ideas into a good ideas by refining, combining, and further refinement of that ideas, we need to convert into a final concept. And from that final 2-3 concept, we will then generate, or we will then create the prototype. So in design, there is nothing right or wrong, right? In design, in innovation, there is nothing right or wrong. It is all about good or bad design or good or bad idea, right? So do not worry about that, if my idea will fail, or if I'm coming up with, for example, when you are brainstorming within your team, and many a times students are, reluctant to say about their idea or their thought, right? Because they think that, oh, if this will be a wrong, if this will be not working, right? So don't worry about that. So, hello. Yeah, so may I request everyone to mute yourself? Yeah. So when you start with
I'm so sorry, Karanjeet, for this.
No issue. That's fine. That's fine. I can understand. So when we start our idea, when we start our project, or maybe startup idea, startup venture, right? At initial phase, don't worry about failure. Initial phase, don't worry about it will work or not, right? Initial phase, just come up with the many ideas, because from that many ideas, you can come up with the good idea or good design, right? So that is where in design or in innovation, there is nothing right or wrong idea. It is all about perception. If it is your perception, it will not work maybe, right? But if it is your customer's perspective, and based on their perspective, their need, their problems, you are coming up with the idea, right? It will work, right? And you need to refine it further. So these are a couple of examples of bad design, which are like aesthetically maybe good looking, but functionally it is not working, right? Or functionally it is not a good design. And these are a couple of good design where, aesthetically as well as functionally and other aspects, right? Usability, maybe sustainability, reliability, quality, all these aspects are being considered well into coming up with this design. Maybe multiple uses, right? Multifunctional design. So all these aspects needs to be considered to convert your idea into a concept, right? And that is why if you want to come up with such multifunctional or which can meet your users requirement and need and market need with satisfying various aspects, right? You need to come up with many ideas. If you just come up with one or two ideas, it will not possible to convert that into an innovation. So for innovation, the prerequisite is to come up with many ideas. So just write down, keep one maybe design diary, logbook, or whatever you call it, right? Idea book. Just write down your ideas in any particular domain in which you would like to work in, right? And then convert that idea, because you are at the student stage, right? I will not suggest this to a startup, because startup needs to work on particular thing. But if you are at a student stage, when you are working and when you are learning, right, just write down your ideas and work on those ideas, simultaneously to refine them, right? And then at one stage you will understand, or you will consider a couple of ideas to be integrated, to be refined, to be more or combined, maybe, for coming up with the solution. So you have might seen this kind of jugaad, right? And India is a jugaad country, what other world says, right? And in the north, I see many jugaad, and I have seen many examples of jugaad, mainly in the north of India. So when we are coming up with such idea, when we are coming up with such jugaad, as an innovator, as an entrepreneur, if you can think one step forward, if you can think to coming up with the innovation to solve this problem, this is a problem, that is why someone has done this jugaad, right? Kisi ne ye jugaad kiya hai. But if you are an innovator, or if you want to become an innovator, entrepreneur, or you want to start your own company, business, right? You need to think one step forward, right? You need to think that how I can solve this problem, and how I can come up with the solution, which can be a sustainable, affordable, effective, and a better solution for the people, right? So that everyone do not need to have such kind of jugaad. So someone has just see this problem and coming up with this solution. Now, looking at this solution, a small mobile holder can be very simple, right? It looks very simple. But convert that problem into a solution, useful, marketable solution. Now, why it is marketable? Because you can, create or manufacture this solution, this product with 10-15 rupees, maybe, by mass manufacturing, injection molding, or 3D printing, 10-15-20 rupees, and you can sell it into a 150 rupees or 200 rupees, right? So it is a 10 times profit, 10 times more you can earn from that. So it is a good idea. It is a good solution. It is a good, innovative business model that you can work. But you need to develop that mindset, attitude, and skills, right, to convert that problem into opportunity, and opportunity into a final solution. And for that, this entire structure process will be very much helpful. So what should your concept achieve? First, it needs to solve the problem with relevance to the context and add value. So first of all, whatever concept you are trying to develop for prototyping, right, we still not touch upon, or we still not in the prototyping stage. I'm just explaining you why conceptualization is also important, right, and how to do it. So what your concept needs to achieve when you are narrowing down your ideas, when you are trying to combine, your concept needs to solve the problem. First of all, it needs to solve the problem with relevance to the context, whatever context you are in whatever context you are having this problem, or whatever context you are developing this solution. So it needs to solve problem with the relevance of the context, and it should also add value. If it is existing solution and you are trying to develop it, refine it, or make it more valuable, right, your solution, your idea needs to add value to that domain and problem, right? And then people would consider it as an innovation, or it will bring the impact. Other aspects, as I mentioned, usability, feasibility, scalability, or business model will follow, right? But first of all, this first part is very much important. So how this conceptualization process looks like? So first you come up with the idea, right? Many ideas, which we call an ideation stage. So first you need to come up with many ideas, quantities of idea. It should be, it can be a good idea, bad idea, small, big, crazy idea, weird idea, anything. Here we are not being judgmental. Here just we are putting down on table all kind of ideas. Then we need to saturate and group. Then we can see what are the ideas can be combined, defined, and can be put into a one bucket, so that we can, you know, select our final concept. And then concept selection based on different tools, technique, and decision making you know, tools. So there are many decision making tools and conceptualization tools and techniques are available, through which you can convert your, you can come up with the from many ideas to a final concept. And from that final concept, we, you know, create the prototype. So as I mentioned, that design and innovation depends largely on the constraint. Without constraint, you cannot come up with the better solution, because if you do not consider this constraint, it will you know, affect many in many ways when you launch your product into the market, when you launch or when you try to launch it or run it into the market, right? So these constraints are like cost, budget. If you haven't considered the budget, cost, time, quality, technology, process, operation, performance, usability, and there are other list of constraints like compliances, you know, government rules and regulation. If you haven't followed, for example, I just shown you the mobile holder, right? It is made up of plastic. If you don't consider the how or which you know, grade of plastic being used or should be used in this type of product, and when you want to sell into the market or when you apply for the certification, they will not you know, pass your product, and that's where your effort will be wasted, right? So you while conceptualization and coming up with the you know, final solution, you need to also you know, consider this kind of constraint, which are very much important. And there are these are a couple of constraints that I have listed down, but it may vary depending on your project, depending on your idea, depending on your domain or you know, area of working. In which area are you working? Manufacturing, healthcare, you know, food business, you know, education. All these domain has their various and, you know, certain constraint and boundary condition. So that you need to identify and apply it while, you know, making the final concept. So conceptualization, in conceptualization, couple of aspects you need to follow or consider, like what are the technical feasibility, market opportunity, operational feasibilities, aesthetic and ergonomic constraint, business and cost restriction, quality, reliability, and so on and so forth. And while we are moving from ideation to conceptualization, which is like you know, from many ideas to a final concept, do not narrow too fast, which means that from 100 idea, do not come to 5 idea, right? It will take a time. It is a gradual process, right? So don't immediately worry about feasibility, scalability, usability, right? All these aspects will come later on, right? And discuss those ideas which are, you know, your team are very excited, surprised, or curious to work on, right? And these are a couple of, you know, weird idea maybe, or weird concept maybe, which you should be considering to convert your ideas into a final solution, through which you know, when you are converting those ideas, you know, your market or your user, your client will be very happy, right? By using or by having it for their problem, right? So do not narrow it too fast, and do not immediately worry about feasibility and scalability. And that's why I said that innovation is a gradual process. Innovation takes time. Innovation requires hard work, effort, you know, many more iterations, patience, and many times resources and money, right? So don't worry about the all other part. You just start. It will you know, everything will come to your place, or everything will, you know, will be there to benefit you or to help you, right? Because the entire ecosystem, as we were discussing earlier, you know, in the starting of the session, that entire ecosystem in the India is developing in a way that it will help you in each and every manner if you are decided, or if you are passionate about converting your idea into a solution. So you know, how does this design differs from the art? We say that design, you know, many times people refer design as art or art as a design, but there is a difference, and slight difference, but we need to understand before we prototype or before we you know, move on to the prototype. So design has a purpose, you know, and art may be only for viewing and experience. So this is the difference between, main difference between art and design, where design has the purpose, right? Without purpose, so design means, when we talk about design thinking, it is also about innovation, because design thinking is a vehicle, is a process to reach to the innovation. Design thinking is a process, approach. Innovation is the final outcome. So when we talk about design and innovation, it should have a purpose, it should have an impact. But art may be only for viewing and for experiencing, right? Design needs to have the function, it needs to have a functionality. Art can have a form only, right? And when it integrate, right, design and art, you will always get the experiential innovation, right? Now this experiential innovation is very much important. I'll also explain you in the further slides. So when this form follows the function, when it has the better form as well as the functionality, it has the viewing and experiential thing, and it also has the purpose, right? When it combines, right, you will get the experience innovation or innovative solutions. So your customer will always write about what they need, right? When you ask them, they might know about their need or their problem, you know, and many a times you need to go deeper and identify the root cause of their problem and pain points, but they don't know how they want it, how they need it, you know. So when Henry Ford says, if I would have asked the people what they want, they say that they might have said that the, you know, faster horses, but they never will come up with the idea of automobile or car, Ford car, right? So your customer, you need to many a times create the demand, you need to many a times create the opportunity, right? And that is how, as an innovator, as an entrepreneur, your role is to convert that idea which is there into your mind into a final innovation, into a marketable solution which satisfy the needs of the people, which satisfy the needs and demand of the market. So that is where we now coming to the topic, which is a prototyping. And prototyping is one of the way to realize your idea, to show your customer, your user, your client, or your team, or your investor what you are trying to do, or what you will be developing, right? So prototyping is one of the very important step. And many a times startups, even established business and units, I mean the manufacturing units, the companies, right, they miss out on the prototyping, or they do very little of the prototyping just by for sake of doing it. But prototyping is very rigorous. It requires effort, it requires the due diligence, it requires the validation, it requires so many other things that I'll show you, right, during that stage. And it is very important step which pivot your product into a success or into a failure, right? So what is prototype? Let's start with the basic. Prototyping is a simple experimental model. So through the term, through this first sentence, you should have understood that prototyping is an experimental model. We use it for experimenting, right, of a proposed solution. So it is a simple experimental model of a proposed solution which we use to test or validate our ideas, design assumptions, and other aspects. Whatever assumptions we have made during our ideation, our conceptualization phase, whatever idea we have come up with, we need to test and validate that idea before we jump onto the manufacturing or launch that product into the market, right? Very quickly. So why we test it and validate it, and why we use prototype? So we want to test it, we want to test and validate these ideas very quickly and cheaply, right? We need to do it very quickly, so that it will not take maybe 6 months to realize that, oh, my product or my solution will not work into the market. Okay, and very cheaply. In these 6 months, if I haven't prototype it, if I haven't iterate it, and I just convert my idea into a final solution and launch into the market, after 6 months, if I fail, right, or whatever time, if I fail, I would lose on money, time, resources, and many a times brand name, right? So So we want to test and validate our ideas, design assumptions very quickly and cheaply, and so that we can refine or make the possible changes in the final solution, right? So this is the fundamental, you can say, definition or objective of the prototyping. So building prototype means making ideas tangible. We make the ideas tangible, learning while building them, right? So many times we learn many other things, many aspects of our solution, of our problem, of our domain while building those prototyping, and sharing them with the other people. So we can also share with the other people to see their reaction, to get their feedback, and to get their direct feedback, direct response. So even with the early and rough prototype, right, we make very early and rough prototype in design thinking processes. So even with the early and rough prototype, you can receive a direct response, right? You do not need to wait till the after sometimes 6 months or 1 year when you launch into the market. So even with that early and rough prototype, you can receive a direct response and learn how to further improve and refine your idea by saving time, money, resources, and other things, right? So there is a saying at IDEO, they say that if a picture is worth 1,000 words, then a prototype is worth 1,000 meetings, right? So it removes many misconceptions, right? Miscommunication between the people, or between you as a designer, innovator, or entrepreneur and your market customers, or your investors, and the people for whom you are developing your solution, right? So it is very much important. And many times when it comes to a prototyping for a student project, academic project, and early stage startup, right, they miss upon these stages. And that is why if you now see, many incubation centers or many government grant give the stage wise funding. So some of the grants, state grant or university grants, are for the POC stage. MHRD and AICT and other Niti Aayog grants are for the prototyping stage. There are some of the grants for MVP stage, and there are some of the grant for after the MVP stage, right, in a production or something like that. So basically you need to go through these process steps, right? If you directly jump from idea to a launch or to manufacturing, right, and if you miss these iterative stages, right, there will be a chances of the failure for your startup or for your idea. So what is the first step in the prototype? You convert your idea, which is abstract, which is in your mind, which is a rough thought. You convert your idea into a POC, proof of concept, which is where or through which you are showing that I have this idea. This is the proof of my concept, right? So proof of concept, POC, which you may draw, you sketch, you write down a couple of things related to your idea, right? You explain to someone, any kind of ways you can use to show the POC. Many times students and startups are using thermocol models, form models, or clay models to make the POC, prototype, right? Then we move from POC to prototype stage, which is little bit higher version of the POC, where we might use higher level of prototyping tools, as well as 3D models, simulations, real maybe the materials and features of the prototype or of the idea. And after that we test our prototype, we move on to the MVP. MVP is a minimum viable product or minimum viable prototype, you can say, where you test your minimum viable features, function, and other aspect of your solution, through which you can understand that, okay, minimum, if this should be there, I can launch my product. So before launching your product or before going on into the manufacturing, you need to make the MVP and you need to test that MVP. Now for MVP and maybe the prototyping stage, you require some of the resources, money, and other tools and technique, right? But for POC, you don't require maybe money. Still, we have a seed funding, we have a POC grant where you can make a rough prototype, rough idea, rough solution. Then you can move on to the prototype, higher version of it, and then you can move on to the MVP. After MVP, it is a launching stage or production stage, right? So this is the cycle, and this is the graph how what time normally it takes. So many a times to reach to MVP, it takes months, and in production it takes years also, right? Depending on your product, depending on your domain or industry you are working in. So there are also the rapid and live prototyping techniques available, right? So as example, layout of campus. So if I want to make a layout of the campus, what I do, for example, if I come to your campus and I am an architecture maybe or designer, and your management wants me to create the layout of your campus or restructuring it. So what I'll do is, in the principal cabin or in the director cabin, whatever things are there into the table, I'll use them. For example, mobile phone or something like this mouse or something, whatever it is there into the table, I would say that okay, your admin building should be like this, or this your mechanical department is here, your garden is here, and your workshop is like this, right? And they say no, we don't want workshop like this, but we want workshop like horizontal and facing into north or something, and we want this admin building right opposite to the garden, right? You can keep your mechanical building here, right? So something like this I would explain them, which is a rapid prototyping, which is a live prototyping. I would get the direct response. I do not need to go back, sit on my computer or on drawing board and make the entire plan, send it them back after 2 week or 3 week, and then get the response after 1 week, and iterate for just simple thing, which is maybe miscommunication or misunderstanding. For simple thing, I would have wasted 3-4 weeks or one month, right? But during our live prototyping and rapid prototyping, we can actually refine, and we can actually get the direct response, right? So rapid and live prototyping is very much important when you are doing with the client meeting, or when you are having the client meeting and need to explain. ATM example, so people have cut the cardboard and they are holding the card like this, and when the first ATM machine was developed, right? So the person is holding the cardboard like this, and people are coming, they are pressing the key on that cardboard, and the person is replying like a ATM machine when people are pressing certain keys, right? And that they are seeing that how people are experiencing, what difficulties they are experiencing, and what needs to be refined, right? So prototype is not always a final product, right? This is a misconception. When we say prototype, when we say students to make a prototype, they say, okay, this is my prototype, right? And they submit it. Your prototype is not a final product. You need to come up with the various versions of the prototype. So it is an iterative, right? So do not think that I have this one idea, I'll make the prototype and I'll convert into a production, right? No. Or convert into a marketable solution by launching it, right? No. Prototype is the iterative process, and for early prototyping you do not need higher cost and much resources. Of course, for later stage you require the resources, but early stage, while you are working on academic project, early stage startup, maybe you don't require it. You just require to iterate it based on whatever resources you have, right? So do not worry about do not worry about cost and resources at early stage. So these are a couple of ways of prototyping while it comes to the startup, while it comes to the it is matter for the academic project or research project. So we can use diagram, we can use interactions, which we can use model, drama, also storyboard, mock-up, 3D printing, and there are many other ways. You can do your own ways, right? Whatever ways suit to you and to your product or service or the domain, you can use this tools, right? You can use combination of them also, and you can come up with your own ways of doing prototype. These are a couple of prototyping material I'm just showing you for reference that we use for our workshops. So now I'm just showing you glimpse of little bit on prototyping, how our students, faculty members, and startups are doing for early stage, in a POC stage, when they have idea and they want to convert that idea into a prototype and then MVP. Before that, they use these materials of rough prototyping, and they come up with the ideas, so that they can get the feedback, direct response, and they iterate at the ideation or conceptualization step itself. So they do not need to, you know, fail into the prototyping into the further when they apply the you know, tools or resources or money for making it. So these are, you know, couple of kids workshop from where they have made the prototype. Like this interaction, so you know, faculty members are interacting with the experts on their idea and getting the feedback. A model how you know, entire sustainable, I think this was the sustainable model they have created. Also for a diagram you can use for application or for website modeling. Couple of thermocol model, you know, cardboard form material you can use for prototyping. Very quick and rough prototyping. These are a couple of just you know, for the glimpse. They have made a very early stage where they have used any rough material, whatever, you know, they can find out in their environment, and they are making the prototype to just realize how their concept or how their thought will work. Prototype for mobile applications. So before you actually make the mobile applications, right, you should make this kind of paper prototype where you can identify a couple of gaps and where you can get the direct response from your user and stakeholder, right? So you can also use such kind of flip papers kind of prototype, the diagrams and you know, models, the flow charts, you know, so various pages of the mobile application. So first you know, click the login page, it will give you the service page, then product page, and then likewise, right? And this is the flow chart where after one which page should be popped up or which page should be turned on. Flow, how it will take you through the you know, website, or how should it take you through the application till the, you know, from the registration or from identifying need or service, you know, to the end page, payment page, and how people have used this customer journey map, also how they are going through these ideas. Some of the functional prototype where people have used, students have used you know, real material, or as you can see, the plastics or wood, and then you know, wires, electronic boards, and motors and all. This is the functional prototype for a robot which detects the gas leakage into the pipeline. So a couple of prototypes. Yeah, students have the school children have made their prototype using you know, first is this POC. So they have come up with the idea, then they converted this into the POC, then they are coming up with the functional prototype, and now they are working into developing their final MVP, right? So these are a couple of school kids who are working on various technology also, as you can see, drone, 3D printing, AR, VR, and they have come up with the ideas, final idea. So they have entirely, you know, connected or assembled the drone and came up with the idea and won the competition. 3D printing and 3D simulation also, we can use 3D model, CAD systems, CAD softwares we can use to come up with the prototype and iterate it. So after the prototype, now these are a couple of ideas and couple of you know, glimpse of the prototype. After the prototype, the stage comes will be the test. So you need to test your prototype. Once you make it at one stage, you need to go back to your customer, client, or user. You need to show them. Don't talk about your prototype. Don't talk about your this you know, solution, whatever you have made. You just show them. You just give them to interact with it, and just watch, just observe what they are doing, how they are doing. You know, in that way you can identify the gaps. In that way you can identify the you know, points or aspects to refine, to pivot, right? And also assign roles within your team who will be doing what, right? Someone needs to take care of the you know, noting the points or noting the conversation between you and a team and the a client, someone needs to take the photographs, someone needs to just observe their bodily expressions and behaviors. So assign roles, show and don't talk. Feedback is a gift. You need to understand that getting the feedback, positive or negative, is a gift, right? And based on that feedback, tweak and change something. So failure or feedback, negative feedback, means that you need to change something. You know, failure in prototype or failure in design, failure in innovation or startup area is not the failure, right? It means that you just need to change something which is not working for your client. And this aspect needs to understand very much by our students, faculty members or students, that failure in these areas are not considered as a failure. In fact, investors invest more into the startups who have failed 4 or 5 times, or the founder or co-founder who have failed 4 or 5 times and they have come back on the ideas or innovative ideas, because they know that this guy will not drown my money. ये पैसा मेरा डुबाएगा नहीं, ये कैसे भी करके मेरी कंपनी को या मेरे पैसे को बचा के लेके आएगा, right? So failure means you just need to change something which is not working for your client, for your user or for your stakeholder, right? So feedback is very much precious gift in the prototyping and while you are iterating and testing with the user. So there are many ways. Feedback capture grid we use to take the feedback, like what they like, what are their questions, what are the criticisms that we receive, what are the ideas and suggestions from them. So we just capture our feedback, right? And also there is a tool called I like, I wish, what if. So what I like, right? I mean your user. So what they like, what they wish. They say that, oh, I wish that, okay, if you change it something change it something like this, I would have buy it, right? Or what if you change the process or reverse the process? What if you remove this component, right? So that is how they want you to make your product or deliver your product for them, right? So you need to take many feedbacks, many this kind of suggestions, right, from your user, stakeholder, as well as from the expert. So for example, if I am working in healthcare area, I am engineer, so I also need to take the feedback not only for maybe patient or pharmacist or maybe nurses and all, but also I need to take a feedback from expert, which are a doctor or medical practitioners or dean of the medical college, likewise, right? So take feedback from each and every stakeholder. And after you have the idea, you come up with the prototype, you convert that prototype and test it with the user, get the feedback, iterate it based on the feedback, and this cycle, this loop goes on and on till you find out the final solution and the satisfying solution for your market or for your people. And many a times, people use gift cards and bonuses for giving you the feedback. So you can also try, if you want mass feedback from the online mode or social media marketing, right? Now let me just brief you in a 5-10 minutes on why this structured approach is required, why this prototyping is more important, and why people are not, and students in academia are not able to convert ideas into a marketable solution and the startup. This is the pain point of academia. This is the pain point of mainly our ecosystem, Indian ecosystem, where we have a lot of great ideas, where we have a lot of great minds, faculty members, students, startups, industry experts. Many of them are there, but they cannot convert that idea into a useful marketable product. And that is where there are many reasons, but based on my experiences and based on my observation, I came up with a couple of things that I just wanted to share with you. So you might have seen such kind of scenarios in your schools, colleges, right? This picture I have taken from one of the engineering college workshop. This is the inside of their workshop, and this is the outside of the workshop, where after students graduate out or after they move on to the next semester, their academic projects are being thrown into this scrap, right? And after the semester end, they will clear out this scrap. So why this scrap is there? Why these projects are being thrown into the corner of the laboratories or workshop? So why this scrap is there? Because there is no structured methodologies followed. There are many reasons, but I consider these 3 reasons very important. There is no structured methodologies followed by the students, faculty member, and institute, right? We are doing projects only for the grade. Students are doing projects only for the grade. Many a times, evaluator and faculty members are also, evaluating those projects to give them a grade only, right? And 6 months of their 6 or 4 months of the hard work only evaluated in 3-4 minutes or 2 minutes many a times, or only they say that, okay, run your project. If it is working, you will get a good grade. If it is not working, you will get a maybe failure. Not failure, because there is no system of failing in the project or in the subject like this in the practical viva, but they will give you a less mark, right? And when we started design engineering subject in GTU, in Gujarat Technological University, where I have trained more than 4,000 faculty members, and this subject is based on design thinking, and it is around 1 lakh students are learning this subject every semester, every year. So we have failed them in the first practical exam viva. We have failed the entire class also, who haven't done anything. कि वो होता है ना कि हम तो पास हो ही जाएंगे, वाइवा है, वाइवा में कौन फेल करता है? तो वी हैव फेल्ड एंटायर क्लास. दिस इज द फर्स्ट टाइम इन द यूनिवर्सिटीज हिस्ट्री और मे बी एकेडमिया हिस्ट्री जहां पे वाइवा में हमने पूरे के पूरे क्लास को फेल किया था. सो एग्जाम इज देयर टू either you pass or either you fail. So but when your projects are being done only for getting grade, you will not put efforts, you will not go through this structured approach, you will not go through the pain of iterating to take it to your market or to your client and ask the questions whether it will work or not. And before that, you don't take pain to understand their needs, their pain points, right? So if we don't follow the structured methodology, we cannot come up with the ideas, we cannot come up with the good marketable solutions and startup idea or patent. And also, students are not keeping in mind the financial benefit, the monetary benefits of these ideas, right? That we can convert these ideas and we can earn the revenue and profit. It is also not being considered or concerned about the social and cultural aspect. We also need to be careful that through this our academic project, every year in India, engineering, commerce, arts, or whatever streams are there, right? Lakhs of projects are being carried out, right? In GTU only, when I was there, right? In GTU every year 30,000-40,000 projects are being carried out by the engineering students, and we will not get, we was not getting any, we were not getting any 30-40 projects also, like which we can convert into idea or startup. But then this entire scenario we have changed through this structured methodology called design thinking, and now every year people are applying for startup grant, people are applying for patent, and students are having many startups running from the colleges. So we need to take care, we need to consider these aspects. It is also says that 80% of the academic projects are thrown into this kind of scrap. So if we can convert 5 to 10% of this 80% startup projects, academic project, it would add a tremendous value, and it would benefit in many ways to our entire ecosystem, our education system, and to the society and community. And that is where we need to use this design thinking. So why this design thinking? Design thinking is there because as a traditional, as a logical thinker, when we try to solve any kind of problem, we either solve it through our expertise or experience, or our judgment and interpretation, or copying others. So normally हम ये चीजों से ही problem को solve करने की try करते हैं. But design thinking gives you a completely a different approach, right? We will not have time to discuss about it in a detail, but I'll just give you a glimpse how it works and what is the process and why it needs to be inculcate into our academia, into our startup journey, and whatever we are doing, right? So this is the definition for your reference. Design thinking is a human-centered approach. So basically it is a human-centered approach for the innovation, which integrate mainly 3 things: possibilities of the technology, needs of the people, possibilities of the technology, and requirement for business success. So I'll explain you this in better way. So for any academic project, for any startup idea, or whatever research work you are doing, for any project, what we need to do is we need to try to find out these three aspects. We need to integrate these three aspects. And first and foremost, we need to find out the people's desirability. Whatever idea I am trying to come up with, whatever idea or solution I am trying to build, whether people will be desired to buy it or not, whether people will be desired to use it or not. That is where people's desirability, people's need, aspirations, market need comes into a play. And if you don't identify the right problem, right need, right, of the people, if still you're even if you have come up with the great idea, it will fail because people will not buy it. So first and foremost, you need to identify the people's need, customers demand, customer need. Then we need to see technological feasibility. So technology or technique or operational feasibility, how we can make it feasible. And then business viability, how we can make it viable into a business, or what is the business model through which we can make it viable. And when you integrate these three aspects using design thinking, process, tools, and technique, you will always get the experience innovation. Now this experience innovation is your value proposition, is your USP, unique selling proposition, which makes you different than the other competitors. And that is where, as I mentioned, businesses and startups are not only today focusing on the functional and aesthetic aspects of the product, because it is the norm. Every company, every business needs to provide the best quality, highest quality and lowest price product, right? This is the norm. ये तो common हो चुका है कि अभी तो हमें हर product या service best quality and lowest price में चाहिए. And that is where, because of the globalization and competition, right? But what makes you different, what makes your brand, what makes brand identity, is that experience that you are trying to provide to your customer. There are multiple, or there are many mobile companies who are making the mobiles, right? Feature, function, material, application, all are same for every mobile, right? But still we prefer Apple or Samsung or OnePlus maybe, right? Because of the experience that they provide. So this experience innovation is becoming a deciding factor of the failure or success of your startup, of your idea. And that is where our goal is to come up with the experience innovation, that wow moment which comes when you show your product or service to the market or to the people. Apart from this, along with this, people desirability, technological feasibility, and business viability.
I'm so sorry to interrupt, Karamjit. Can we wind up? Actually,
yeah, sure.
The ICT center is about to get closed. That's why.
Oh, sure. No, I'll just finish in 2 minutes.
Yeah. Thank you so much, and sorry for interrupting.
No, this is, I think, a final slide that I would like to show. No issue. Yeah. So basically, along with this people's desirability, technological feasibility, and business viability aspect, right? We need to also see, as a student, as a startup, as a young generation, right? And as a future generation, we also need to integrate the sustainability and ethic into the design, into the innovation, right? Sustainability and ethic, by means of sustainability and ethic, I don't only imply the environment into the design or into the innovation, but I also mean that by developing your one solution to solve any problem, you do not need to create other 10 problems, right? That is also the ethical practices and sustainability for your startup and for your idea. Now, if you see this process, right, during our people's desirability, we observe and identify the needs of the people, and by feasible technology, we come up with the ideas, conceptualize and prototype our solution, and we go back and test it with the user and come up with the viable business model. So this is the process which you need to consider and which you need to integrate into your design and innovation, right? So that is where I just wanted to mention about design thinking, because it is, the prototyping is a part of design thinking process and methodology. So I think now I'll stop here, Dr. Kaur, and we can have question answers if students are ready. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Karamjit. It actually was a very well articulated lecture, starting from innovation, then going about prototyping, from proof of concept to prototyping, and then actually going for your products in the market. And you explained it in a very simple and very effective manner. And you showed the models, the prototypes. They were very interesting. I think I really liked that prototype of with a cardboard and someone had made a toaster.
Yeah.
So it was really very interesting. I think even students would have got motivated. And very correctly said, innovation is all about doing different things differently, and just bringing a difference. So these three things are there. When you try to do things, when you try to do different things, and when you try to do these different things in a different manner, such that you can bring a difference.
True.
So how do we actually do it? That makes the entire difference. And Dr. Karamjit has really explained us very well. Questions are most welcome. I can see one question in the chat box. It says that it's a very valid question actually. What happens is students in the rural areas, they also have very nice ideas, but they don't get the opportunities. So they want to know whether InnoDesk can work for them, for students in the rural areas.
Yes. So students from the rural areas, there are many ways to connect to this ecosystem. One is they should, or they may connect with the institute or universities around them, those who have the incubation centers or innovation cell, like you have this innovation cell, so you can connect, or these students from very rural areas can connect with you.
Actually, we're planning to open an incubator center, and for that we would need your support.
Of course.
So obviously, we'll talk about that at length some other time.
Yeah. And we are doing many programs with the rural people, with the government and NGOs for connecting these students, bringing their grassroots innovation to a mainstream and supporting them. So of course, you can connect with me anytime, or we can plan a certain structured way of doing it. I
think even students who are a part of this team, they can outreach to students, like if they are hailing from some town initially, so the native place, they can have a outreach program, and then they can spread the ideas.
What we can do is, you can also tie up with your municipal corporation or some of the NGOs and identify the problems in rural area. Your students as engineer students or MBA students can work on solving those problems using technology and come up with the ideas, and then your incubation center can incubate those ideas, right? Where you can create the inclusive ecosystem for everyone to be flourished. And you certainly help the rural problems and rural people. There is a place called NIF, National Innovation Foundation, this Gnan Honeybee Network, where these all are by Dr.
I'll be making the students familiar about all these things.
So these are a couple of places where students can submit their ideas and get the benefit. Even I'm
just hurrying up because of the paucity of time. I'm so sorry. It was indeed a great pleasure. Rashi, you can set the feedback link. Students will have to fill that feedback link. And once again, I repeat, as sir also mentioned, it's the feedback which is very important. It's a gift, whether it's a positive or negative.
Of course.
But it is how things improve. So let's say that we at Deen Dayal Upadhyay College under MOE DDUC chapter, IIC chapter, we are also trying to inculcate this thing in you, a feeling of doing something good, doing something innovative. But how should we go about it? That depends upon your feedback. So please give your honest feedback. And last but not the least, once again, thanks. And I would request all the participants to hurriedly switch on their cameras so that we can have one group photograph. Sudhakar ji, I'm so sorry, आपको late कर दिया. Thanks. At the same time, please आप एक group photograph ले लीजिए.
Yeah. So we can, if you have certain questions, kindly send me, ma'am, on the email.
Yeah, sure.
So we can try to, answer these questions in the mail.
Sudhakar ji, आप screenshot ले रहे हैं?
Yes, ma'am. I have the screenshots. Yes, I have.
हाँ, एक अभी फाइनल आप ले लीजिए.
I did, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much, Sudhakar ji, and we are just winding up. Thank you so much, and sorry for the delay. Once again, I extend a heartfelt gratitude, Karamjeet, and we really have to go a long way because you will be guiding us for the incubator center. So we'll have the discussions in detail some other time. Thank you so much, and I thank all the participants, and special thanks to the team, ICT team, who got delayed because of us.
Welcome. That's all. Welcome.
So thank you so much. Thanks to all my colleagues, to all my dear students, and our dear speaker. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kaur, and the team and students for joining us.